So it's been about a week since the Cathcart Circle Line route was released for Train Sim World 2, and in that week, I've been playing the route a lot. So much that in fact, I'm able to make this review a bit earlier than I normally would. Before we hop into things, I'm going to ask all of you to hit the like and subscribe buttons if you enjoyed the video. Let's get started. Starting off, the route feels somewhat different from some of the routes that were recently released for TSW. For one, it is a complete route with a good number of services. There are 205 services in total, and 3 more are added if you own the Northern Transpennine and East Coastway routes. While it does sometimes feel like the route is a bit empty, especially near the Glasgow Central area, at other times the route can feel very busy, with trains coming into stations at 3 to 5 minute intervals and the player seeing more adverse signals than usual. Unfortunately, the route feeling busy sometimes doesn't make up for how desolate it could feel. Approaching Glasgow Central is underwhelming, with the player only being able to see Cathcart Circle Line trains. This is somewhat a result of only including the Class 314, which was almost exclusive to the Cathcart Circle Line at the time of this route. The Class 314 is a nice and well-detailed train. A good number of the cab controls are actually clickable, and the guard controls are actually usable. I've spent some time myself trying to play as an actual guard, just opening and closing the doors at stations. Overall, this train is great and is a very fun one to drive. Dovetail got the traction motor sounds from Armstrong Powerhouse, and it shows. The train sounds excellent, and I'm glad DTG reached out to AP for them. The one downside to this train is the headlights though. They just aren't too powerful. While I know that trains in the UK, especially before the modern era, had their headlights there for people to see the train and not for operators to be able to see out of the train, headlights were still powerful enough, especially on this unit, to be able to light up the track directly in front of the train and to light up trackside signs. While playing at night, the headlights light up nothing, meaning the player is driving in complete darkness, making it near impossible to operate without the HUD. Now, everything else about this train I love. While I do wish we had 6 car services in the regular timetable mode, I enjoy operating the 3 car services. My only real knock on the rolling stock besides the lighting though is that only the Class 314 was included, and I feel like DTG could have added one more train to go along with this route. A train like the Class 320 or 380. 2 trains that could appear as substitutions for the Class 314, and they could be used as AI ScotRail services operating in and out of Glasgow Central, making that part of the route a bit more lively. Moving into the scenery topic, this route is well detailed, and the scenery is mostly accurate. The approach to Glasgow Central Station is lifelike in terms of the scenery, and the same goes for the actual Cathcart Circle. While the player is driving the train through a sunken trench, also known as open cut track, looking up, you can see the residential buildings above, which when compared to what you can see on Google Earth is relatively accurate. Most of the route involves you driving through well-developed city areas in and around Glasgow. As you branch out further to the Neilston and Newton stations, you start to notice a decline in well-developed areas, and it starts to become more foresty type areas. The scenery is nice, and it's cool to see all of the buildings above you as you're traveling through the circle. That is, when you can see everything. You know, in the daytime. At night, this route is so dark. With TSW's non-existent light pollution, an inaccurate way of portraying moonlight, and with the horrible headlights on the Class 314, it's almost impossible to see at night. Sometimes, you'll come into stations that have no lighting, and it's damn near impossible to stop at the right place because you can't see anything. This resulted in me overrunning a station on the eastern part of the Cathcart Circle. I'm pretty sure the lights being off at stations at night is a bug, but it still interferes with the way the route is played, therefore I am mentioning it in this video. While that is a downside to this route, overall it is a good route, and I do like it. It seems like DTG put a lot of attention into this route, and it shows with the authentically recreated Class 314, the unique and interesting scenarios, and the sounds. I like the choice of getting AP's sounds for the traction motors. I do think the sound design on this route is great, and while this is yet another route DTG failed to deliver on with the track and running noise, they still delivered with the other sounds. I hope DTG continues this trend of highly detailed and completed routes, and I hope the rush hour routes either get the same amount of care or even more care than this route did. If I were to give this route a rating out of 10, I would give it an 8 out of 10. It was well detailed and a lot of care went into it, but due to the limitations of TSW, fell short in some aspects, making parts of the route inaccurate, mainly the nighttime driving. I would recommend checking out this route at full price and on sale. It can be bought for $29.99 USD on all platforms, and while that does seem like a lot for a route with only one train and 20 to 25 miles of track, it is well worth the money. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, and if you are new to the channel and you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. Peace.